Hi, friends. Boundless Divine here, artist, organizer, and spiritually based mental health advocate. And this is Divine Time live. Yeah, I hope y'all like that. That was, we're trying a new intro for the live videos. Welcome to our first Divine Time live stream. We're 20 seconds in, so I'm going to give some folks some time to come on here. But yeah, for the purpose of this live, I thought it would be cute to tell y'all a little bit more about me because we're journeying together. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. Just gonna give folks some time to come on. So, this is gonna be me talking a little bit more about myself, asking folks, some stuff about them. No one's here yet, so I'm just gonna get into it. And yeah, we'll see who comes on and how it goes. So, who am I? So I am Boundless Divine, and Boundless Divine is actually my spiritual name. It's my infinite name. A couple years ago, I was journaling, and the name just kind of came to me. And so Boundless is just reminds me that I can be anything, to not be conformed by or confined by the limitations of society. And divine reminds me that I can do anything. Anything that's for me will find me no matter what. So really, Boundless Divine is my way of reminding myself that I am infinite. It's my infinity name. And so I've been given other names, throughout my lifetime. The first name that I was given was from actually my brothers. My brothers named me Brittany. Surprise! That's my birth name. Yeah, my older brothers both liked a girl named Brittany, like two different girls. So Brittany was just the hot name at the time, so they gave it to me. And I think it's really fitting because, when you Google what does the name Brittany mean, it actually symbolizes like an island. Brittany is a body of land surrounded by water, and I'm a Pisces, so I love that because that's literally like my entire existence. Is I'm lots of water, but flesh as well. So another name that I have been given is Ifa Dunke. So I'm an Ianifa. It's an Ifa priestess. I am an African spiritualist. I was initiated in March of 2022, and I'm still a baby in the tradition. Like there's so much that I have to learn, and that's something for another day. But yeah, I'm an Ifa priestess, and so when you get initiated into Ifa, you get a name, similar to how like in the Bible Abram becomes Abraham and like Jacob became Israel and all that stuff. So in Ifa you get a name, and so it's not just like the teachers or the Babalawo will pick the name for you. You don't pick the name for you. It's actually divined upon. So Ifa is consulted, and Ifa will choose a name for you. And so the name that was chosen for me is Ifa Dunke, and Ifa Dunke means Ifa protects me. So yeah, because, I came here to just love people, be helped, and, I'm not perfect. Obviously, nobody's perfect, but I do my best to treat people with love, kindness, and integrity. And because of that, people might try to take advantage, but my name is just a reminder that, like, I'm protected. I don't even have to worry about, being mad, even though sometimes obviously I get mad, but I don't have to worry about trying to send anything to anyone because like I'm protected, because I'm loved, and because I give love. I'm here to love. And so the spirit just wants to make sure I'm safe as I'm loving on people. Light worker stuff. Okay, so I see someone's on the live. It doesn't tell me who. It's my first time, but welcome. So for introductions, I'd love if you are able to put in the chat your name. Maybe we could spell it out phonetically. And then a little fun fact about you, where you're from or where you're at, maybe your sign. So, I went with my name, Boundless Divine, birth name Brittany. I'm from Dirty Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl, and still here, currently. A fun fact about me is I can say the alphabet backwards. The story is kind of like funny because I was working in Sunday school when I was in high school, and there's just babies and I'm holding them. This one kid just did not want to leave me, so I was holding him, and I was like, oh, I saw an alphabet book, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I could learn how to say it backwards, because I learned that that's how they test when you're drunk. like when you get pulled over. And so, you know, within the hour that I was holding this kid, I just read the alphabet backwards. And for some reason, even though I can't always remember people's names or birthdays, I can still say the alphabet backwards. So that's like a fun, weird fact about me. And if you're able to, love to see yours in the chat. So, yeah, I say that I'm a spiritually based mental health advocate in the beginning of every episode, but what does that mean? So, mental health is definitely like my lane. I come off as like super sunshiny and rainbows, and that's like straight up how I am, you know? Like I will go on hikes and I will stop and smell the flowers and talk to the birds. Like I'm really like that. But on the other side of that, I could be just as sorrowful. Like there have been days where I would just come home and just lay on the floor and sob for hours, and I could be so overwhelmed by really positive feelings and also super overwhelmed by negative, well, I wouldn't want to call them negative. They're just like little low vibrational feelings as well. And so for me, it's important to, oh, thanks for the like. So for me, it's important to just really like talk about that, because I don't want people to ever think that like I have things all figured out. Like I'm constantly, you know, I make mistakes all the time. I have low days, but I really, it's important to me that people just care about their mental health and take care of themselves, because that's actually my why. You know, like my why isn't, I mean, obviously I'd like to be financial secure, but my why is not money. My why is not fame. I'm actually an introvert. Like getting me to be on YouTube was something that like had to be spoken into me a lot because I was afraid. But every time, you know, trigger warning for suicide, but every time like I see someone who took their life and transitioned before their time, I screenshot that, and I feel that and I take that so personally, because I know what it's like to have those feelings of hopelessness, and they remind me why I'm going on. And so the lens that I have for mental health advocacy is spirituality, which is ironic because up until 2022, like, I mean, I grew up Christian before, you know, that's how I was raised. I dabbled in Buddhism for a while. I ended up, you know, my sophomore year of college, questioning everything, huge tower moment, lived with monks in upstate New York for a week and just meditated all day. But then like after that, I became an atheist, and I was like, I don't know if there's such thing as God. And then I went through my first psychic awakening, and now my whole lens is spirituality. And I forget where I was going with that. Oh yeah, but so out of everything like that I've tried, it was spirituality that has been like my grounding cord into my mental stability. And so my approach here, like I say spiritually based, like yes, I am, you know, initiated into Ifa. I'm an Ifa priestess, but I don't believe that every single spiritual tradition is for everyone. Like there are some people who Christianity is actually what was chosen for them to be their guiding light. Some people, they don't need to have no type of serious like, you know, religion or tradition to be grounded in. And I think that's like dope too. Some people it's Hinduism, like, and I don't care because it's, I know that at the end of the day, like I say in the name of love, because I feel like it's really truly always going back to love. And so my goal and my joy and my love is to help people to find the love that loves them, and to get rooted that way. And so that's what I mean by spiritually based mental health advocate. I don't know, we could do a Q&A. So I don't know if you have anything that you're super curious about me. I'm just gonna like talk about myself. I'm open to like anything that you'd like to share about yourself as well. I'm also open to just like chilling. But yeah, so that's spiritually based mental health advocate. What I mean by that, I'm a projector. I don't know if you're interested in human design or know what that is, but it's actually super cool. There's different energy types, and you know everybody is one. And they kind of talk about the way that your energy flows. It talks about the type of people, like what your assignment is and everything. So if you don't know what that is, I did an episode on that, so you should definitely check it out. And so my human design type is a projector, and we are the seers. We're here to help to elevate the consciousness with by sharing like information. And yeah, so what else about me? So I changed my introduction. So for those of you who are the OGs who have been with me from the start, I used to say I'm a spiritually based mental health advocate for Black people, and that wasn't me saying that I only care about Black people. In fact, like I'm a lover of all people. Like that's how I introduce myself when I, do poetry and stuff. But my background when I was in undergrad, I majored in sociology because community and society and all of that is just like absolutely my jam. I love that stuff. And so um, when I say for Black people, I understand that like the most oppressed person, at least in, American culture and society, is a Black trans woman, right? And so like so they say, lots of my favorite revolutionaries have said it in different ways, but somehow reduced to like nobody's free until we're all free. And so like because of where I grew up, I grew up in a predominantly white, predominantly conservative area. And I just naturally, I'm a Libra moon and rising, I'm a Pisces. So for me, like I don't like to, I didn't really like rocking the boat. I could be like really gentle. And so when I would get my little, but as I got older, as I got like more informed about the world, as I was introduced to authors who were able to articulate the feelings that like I didn't even realize that I had, I would start, kind of expressing those things, and I would start talking about things like, racism and white supremacy and justice. And like people would kind of be surprised sometimes. They'll be like, oh my gosh, she's Black. And like, because I never wanted to be one of the good ones. And so I started my introduction saying that I'm an advocate for Black people because I wanted to be able to explain that, like, yo, not for nothing. Racism is spiritual warfare. And this is something that I plan on talking about in a future episode. But like, being an empath, like being someone who loves so tremendously, and then realizing that like people will literally like hate me sometimes just because of how I look, and trying to navigate not being like closed off to love in a place where it's not always necessarily safe for me to receive love, like that affects my spiritual well-being. Having people who say that they're your friends and that they're your allies, but then go ahead and like, and we're not even going to get into politics because the whole thing is whatever. That's why we need a revolution. But like, claim to like love you and care about you, but then like endorse people politically who like say really hateful things, or hang out and associate with people who endorse really hateful things. And then because of those people are those people oppress people who look like me, but you came to claim to love me. And so I think it's really important for me to be able to acknowledge like we are intersectional, like we are intersectional beings. We are a result of our culture, of our ethnicity, of our parents, of our siblings, of our well, race is like a social construct, but of our socioeconomic. Like we are so multifaceted and multi-layered beings, and so I cannot properly advocate for mental health if I don't, talk about certain things such as racism and white supremacy. Because not for nothing, like a lot of my biggest mental health issues have come as a result of white supremacy and capitalism. And so but I talked to a prophet, and like I was praying for clarity, and I was even at my altars, I'm like, who am I here to serve? Like, who do you want me to love? And this prophet that I didn't even tell what I was asking questions about was just like, you're here to love all people. You're here to help lots of people of all races. And she told me more dope stuff that I'm going to keep to myself. And so I took out the for Black people in my introduction, and I'm realizing that sometimes it's better to show than tell. Like, again, so when I say I'm, advocating for Black people, what I'm really advocating for is collective liberation. Because as you'll see, like a lot of the same people who were like feeling iffy and so and saying Black Lives Matter is like too political and they don't like to get involved, are now up in arms because abortion became illegal. And it's like, if you're saying it's okay to oppress certain people, then it's eventually going to come back to you. And so I'm advocating for all people. I'm advocating for collective healing, and that the more that we know about each other, the more that we're able to share our experiences, the more that we're able to do shadow work, the more that we're able to just all collectively heal and grow. So that's, that's on that. And then in terms of like, what else do I want to talk about? Talks about mental health advocate for Black people. I'm not sure. Oh, I guess I could talk a little bit about my like background and work and stuff. So I'm a community organizer. I've hosted a story time for like 3 years. It's actually three as of this month. And so I just read every month, and then we do a little discussion and dance. Is super fun because community building is super important for me. I have, briefly had a nonprofit, but that was like a lesson in, being mindful of who I work with and not rushing into things. But through that, I was able to like help raise over 500 pounds of clothing for, organizations. So I'm really proud of that. So my two modalities in life have been, consistently joy and justice. And I actually wrote a poem about that 2020. You can check it out via spokenblackgirl.com. It's my first published piece of poetry. I'm really excited about that. It came out this month. But yeah, because I think that's literally my whole thing, is that like I'm super loving and super joyful. I think that this platform, Divine Time, is revolutionary work. I think that the music that I'm creating, that I'm excited to share with y'all, in Divine Time, I think that this is revolutionary work because, we can get so caught up in feelings of anger and frustration and depression and overwhelm. But when we allow ourselves to just like really enjoy and stay in feelings of like love and peace, then like that's light work. And that's my realm. Like I'm trying to keep people elevated and inspired and grounded within themselves, so that way the people who are supposed to be out feeding the hungry are able to do that. So the people who are supposed to be, creating whatever structures are able to do that. Like I'm just here to spread love and light. So that's me. I'm Haitian, That's another thing I can say. I'm the first generation to be born on the soil and up for my family. So while I am American, because I grew up here, I speak English and everything, whatever. I mean, people speak English everywhere because colonization, but not everywhere. You know what I mean? We don't gotta. But yeah, so I think that's cool because I do come from a long line of mystics and stuff. And so even though like I haven't always understood that I'm Haitian, like I'm feeling it more and more, especially as I mature. That's all I got for y'all today. This was our first Divine Time live. I hope that you all enjoy it. If you want to, introduce yourself in the comments, that would be fun. Yeah, tell me about yourself. You can ask whatever questions that you would have liked to ask on the live if you had got here on time. And I'm gonna wrap it up. So thanks for coming. If you want to send me a little love donation for this, energy exchange, for this community that we're building, you can be blessed via Cash App and buy me a coffee, both at Boundless Divine. But yeah, I hope that you're doing well. Like I really actually pray for y'all. Like every day in my daily prayers, I pray for the community, my friends, the collaborators, like those who are being drawn to me. I pray that I steward this blessing and opportunity and responsibility well. So just know that you're in my prayers. Like even if we've never met, like I'm praying for you. Those of you who like comment regularly or every once in a while, like I literally think about you and send you light throughout my day. Like not like I'm being so for real. Like I really appreciate the support that I receive from y'all. So thank you so much. And you are good and you are worthy and you are loved. Never forget who you are, because this world needs your light. Be kind with yourself, because practice makes progress and all things come in divine time. And as you leave the space, may you go in peace and love and pleasure, purpose, and prosperity. In the name of love, Ashe. Peace.